What is happening, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm back with another video. And today I want to talk about OMAD and if you can eat anything you want and just go crazy or not. What the real story is behind all that, because we hear it all the time. We talk about eating one meal a day. We say you don't have to restrict yourself. You can eat whatever you want. It's one of the greatest benefits. And so there's a couple points I want to make about that. But before we hop into that, first I want to apologize for not getting a video up in about a week. I'm finishing a class right now, and it's just a little bit too much work for me to handle both YouTube and getting that class. And I'm in the final week of the class, so it's done on Sunday, and I can move on and finally get out of in-school suspension and into a classroom doing some teaching. So I'm excited about that, and I wanted to get this done, and I wanted to make sure the class was done in the right way. So I didn't get a chance to post last week, but moving forward, I should be back to at least a 3-time a week go around. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you've never clicked on one of my channels, I started this channel to hook you up with tips, tricks, knowledge, and ideas that I learned along the way in my journey to help you out in your journey. And in my journey, I lost 125 pounds eating just one meal a day. And that's why I feel like giving you this information is going to be important. Because if you've clicked on my channel before, you know that I didn't restrict anything. I ate whatever I wanted in my OMAD meal, and I lost that weight. And so immediately I carry a flag, a banner that says you can eat whatever you want, right? And so I get the question all the time, and I'm always answering back, yeah, of course you can eat whatever you want. But then people start to, send me some of the things that they're eating and some of the stuff they're doing, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to address it in a video and change the way that comes out a little bit. So first I want to talk about it from like a fitness perspective, from like a trainer's perspective, from like a lot of the other intermittent fasting channels perspectives, somebody that's really trying to push fitness at you and really trying to get you into a good way. And why would they say that you shouldn't eat whatever you want? Well, the number one reason they're going to say this is because they feel like you have to supply your body with good stuff in order to feel good and to be, more fit and better shape and all of those kind of things. And they're not inherently wrong on that. If you sit down every night for your OMAD meal and you eat, nothing but French fries and ice cream, your body's eventually going to break down easier. It's not going to heal as well. It's not going to do some of the things that you want it to do quite at the level you want it to do. That doesn't mean that you can't have some results by doing that. And so there's a yin and a yang to that, like there isn't anything in life. So I want to emphasize that that's kind of where they're coming from, is like, hey, why lead you down a path where your body may lose weight but your insides may not heal, and you may end up having a heart attack or something because you've just been eating the wrong way for numerous amount of years, but you look like you're fit or you look skinnier, because there is skinny fat, guys. If you've never heard of that, it's a thin person that has a heart attack or a fatty liver because they look good on the outside, but they've been doing the wrong things, and so their body pays the price for that eventually, even though they don't look like it in their appearance because they keep their calories down, kind of deal. So ultimately, you can lead yourself down that road eating willy-nilly or whatever you want. On the other side of this, I want people to understand that I was really smart about eating whatever I wanted when I was in the process of losing weight. And so let's just say that I was to talk to my wife and she was to say, okay, we're going to go out Sunday night and we're going to have Olive Garden. Well, I already know that's a red flag right there with calories. You've got to think, I've got to get under the right amount of calories per average every day of the week. So that means that if I'm going to go eat Olive Garden and I know I'm going to eat 4,000 or 5,000 calories, I'm now overeating, which means I have to make up for that the rest of this week. I have to understand going into it that I'm going to eat whatever I want on Sunday, but that means I have to eat less on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yada, yada, yada. With that said, I can just skip a day too, and I can catch my calories back up and balance things out a little bit better too, which I did a lot of. I did a lot of fasting on Monday for at least 6 months. So I think that is a way to balance the calories out a little bit more. Again, you have to understand, a lot of people will say, well, if you're fasting, calories don't matter. Listen, I guarantee you, if you eat at a restaurant and you're pounding down 5,000 calories a day, or you're eating ice cream, 1,500 calorie ice cream, large ice cream things a day, you're going to gain weight even eating one meal a day. Now, in the beginning, if you already were doing that in your lifestyle and you're eating other meals of the day and you start skipping those meals, you're going to watch your weight fall in the beginning, no doubt about that. But at some point, your body will get back into balance, and it'll be before your goal is met and your weight is going to start rising again. And so that's a tricky situation, and your body's constantly adjusting how many calories it burns and what it needs to do. And so you have to adjust with it, and you have to understand that calories do matter on some level. Now, hormones matter too, and you guys know I've done a lot of videos saying that, hey, listen, I'm from both schools. I think that you got to be smart about how much you're eating, but you also have to be smart about understanding that if your hormones aren't working, it's going to be harder too. And you want to be able to balance all that stuff out. And intermittent fasting is a fantastic way to balance those things out. So you're on the right track. The thing is, you've just got to be careful and you've got to be conscious. If you're doing OMAD and eating just one meal a day, being able to have a go-to meal that you know keeps you, low in the calorie count is always a good thing in case you have a high calorie meal on the horizon. Whether you're meeting with a coworker for lunch or you're going out with your loved ones to dinner or you ordered food in or whatever the case is, you've got to balance it out. And you've got to remember that there's just never a good time that you can look at something and say, well, I'm going to have fast food 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the next decade. You're going to pay the price for it, even if it doesn't appear you're paying the price for it. Your body is still intaking that and breaking it down, and it's still going to create issues in the future. And even if you're eating one meal a day where you can get more healing, it's not going to be enough to overcome the toxic stuff you've put in your body. That doesn't mean you can't have fast food, though. And that doesn't mean you can't have fast food and lose weight. You just have to find a balance that works for you. And it's really, really simple to do that. A couple of quick tips. Again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but taking one day of the week out of eating, sometimes even 2 days out of the week, take eating out of the equation. If you're able to do that, you're saving yourself huge amounts of calories. If you think about it, you're eating 2,500 calories a day, but you're only doing that 5 days a week, you're saving yourself 5,000 calories a week, which almost equates to a full pound of body fat that you've now freely burnt off your body because you skipped 2 meals during that week. That may not be the long-term answer, but it can be the short-term answer. Remember that if you can eat healthy and smart along the way, then 1 day a week isn't even going to affect you. If you eat 3,000 calories and your goal was 2,500, but all week long you ate 2,200, you're going to be fine with the 3,000 calorie meal. And it's the balance. This is the other tip that I want everybody to understand. Weight loss and gain doesn't happen in 1 day. I'm sure you see it on the scale, but there's all kinds of circumstances that make that scale say what it does. Water retention, yada, 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 yada. At the end of the day, weight loss happens over time. And it's estimated that it's a week's calorie that your body's going to store away, the extra calories. So when you're talking about that, just make sure within a week, within 7 to 10 days, you're going to be in a deficit and your body doesn't have anything to store, and it can start burning it, and you can get yourself into a situation that makes you a little bit better off. So can you eat whatever you want? Of course you can eat whatever you want. And of course I did eat whatever I want. But here is the fundamental takeaway of this video. On OMAD, you can eat what you want, but you can't eat it as often as you would like. And that, I think, is the sticking point that I want to drive home, is that we all know there are foods and things that we love, but having them every day isn't the answer to health and fitness. Having them once in a while can be an amazing thing. And so you can eat those foods, you just can't do it day in and day out. And if you can keep the mentality that, hey, look, I'm going to do right most of the time, then when it comes down to it, you're going to be a healthier person. The weight is going to come off you, and you can eat whatever you want during your OMAD journey, just not as often as you want to do it. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you guys are learning and you guys are figuring things out. If you've lost weight and you're part of an OMAD, Drop down below how many pounds you've lost. I want to see what the community watching this video has done, and I want to congratulate you guys on your weight loss. So you want to comment for me? Drop it down below, the total amount of weight you've lost on this journey, how long you've been doing it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Right here is a video I think you're going to like. YouTube thinks you're going to like that one. Click on one of those bad boys, but before you do that, my face, it's right there. Click on that. It will make you subscribe to this channel. You can become a weight loss warrior and get more tips. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.